understood, on the ride on our rivals. They can't stop us now, but go ahead and try though. All they gonna feel is the pain inside. Ho, foes get land, but
Here you find your boy once again back at it. You know what I'm saying? And today I'm gonna blast this one off as far as a SUReno roll call in Songho, past and present. All the videos that are still here, the videos that used to be here, you know, the type of manpower they got nowadays comparing to back in the days, the influence they used to have, you know what I'm saying, and all that type of, you know, stuff that needs to be put out there correctly, you know, that needs to be clarified, that needs to be, you know what I'm saying, crystal clear. And that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to hit you guys with all that shit so you guys know what's happening here in Songho, because there's a lot of these podcasters that have been putting out a lot of fake news and speaking on, you know, street politics and how it is, you know, when it comes to this gangbang shit between upstaters and norteños, as far as radios go and all that shit, where they could and can't go and all that type of stuff. So we're going to break shit down, money, so that people are aware and understand exactly what the fuck is going on. And like I said, I'm not being biased in no type of way. I'm just keeping it 100,000. You know what I mean? So everything I say, you know what I'm saying, is valid information. You know what I mean? And like I said, I don't say any of these things as far as being one-sided. You know what I'm saying? I'm keeping it 100 so that the gente throughout California and other places can know what's really happening in Northern California, because some people got wrong idea about how it is up here and where certain people stand, and that, you know what I'm saying, it's being taken over and it's half and half and all that type of shit, which is all, like I said, fake news. It's information that gente are putting out. They have no the fuck idea what the fuck is going on up here. You know what I'm saying? So your boy motherfucking Gangster Gucci is going to break it down, and we're going to kick this shit off like right now. Let's go. I said right now. That's what we're doing right there. You know what I'm saying? Be ready, motherfuckers. Here we go. Let's kick it off. Bam! So, West Side, money. We're going to, you know, cause the majority of SUReno gangs were on the east side. The reason why a lot of vatos from the east side and other sides were saying that they were all on the west side is because the vatos on the west side, and not to disrespect any of the upstaters from the east, it's just that a lot of the vatos out the west had more influence, more power, and there was a neighborhood, Sus Santos, Pride, and Clanton, when it started up in 92, 93 in the Washington area. All the SURenos would go to this area to kick back on Sundays at, you know, for the church, and this was just like a known area for them to roam, and it was the kickback spot basically for all the hoods, not just in Songho, from Mountain View, Sunnyvale, you know, Fremont, from fucking dudes up in Richmond, dudes from everywhere basically came out here and kicked back at this barrio right here whenever they came. Even vatos that came from down south to visit familia, this was like a spot that they can go to, post up, chill with their peoples, and at the same time attack anybody that was a suspect or that, you know what I'm saying, was violating in their territory, you know, as far as wearing red. So this video right here, money, this is a Second Street Posse, SSP. I know the vato that started this shit up, you know, this whole Second Street Posse. And I think it could have started before 89, but I'm going to slap 89 there till 93, because in 1993, they went ahead and changed their name to Sus Santos Pride. You know what I'm saying? And this neighborhood right here at one point was a fucking dangerous neighborhood. They had a lot of heads. They were deep as fuck. They were even, a lot of vatos from other SUReno neighborhoods were getting jumped into this neighborhood because it was more validated. It was more, you know, it had a lot of substance to it, and it had a lot of influence, and there was a lot of dudes that were already going to the pinta and shit like that, and people that knew what was up. So because of that, like I said, this neighborhood at one point was a real dangerous ass area. They were a threat, you know what I'm saying? But because of what happened in 2013 or 14, I think it was 2013, that I think 28 of these dudes got snatched up, and when they got snatched up, a lot of these dudes rolled over and all that type of shit, to where these dudes lost a lot of influence when it comes to, you know, that side in Songho. Where they're not really getting, they're not getting the numbers that they had, and they got a few leftovers as far as older G's, and they got some youngsters. But the youngsters are, like I said, you see the membership, it's about 10, 20 heads. They ain't a threat no more. They're still there. Don't get me wrong, and there's still people that fuck with these cats, but they're no longer the threat they were. You can go down there, you can go check it out yourself, and more likely, what would have happened to you back in the 90s, you don't have to worry about that type of shit when you go up into this area now. You know what I'm saying? And not to say that you know, you might catch motherfuckers there on the, you know, at the right time in the right place, or you might just be in the wrong place at the right time. It just all depends, you know what I'm saying? But this SSP money, you know what I'm saying? This was out back in the days, my boy. Let's jump to this next one, you know what I'm saying? Now, now we're going back, because although this wasn't the first Sureño neighborhood in Soho, this neighborhood holds more weight than any other Southside neighborhood. And like I said, I don't say this out of disrespect to other Southside neighborhoods. I'm just keeping it 100. You know what I'm saying? And Barrio Town, also known as Barrio Su 13, was originally all Eastsiders money down at the Tropicana and Happy Hollow area. They were Eastsiders. It was Malos. They started up in 1987. They started up a second little chapter of their shit called Tokers in 1991. 1994, they got hit with an injunction abatement money because they were just, that area was popping with everything. You can go get drugs, prostitutes, you know what I'm saying? Your head skull cracked open, all that shit over there. You know what I'm saying? So, when that injunction and that abatement hit, they had to move. So they moved into the Manker area, which is on the other side of the 280 where the West Side Mob San Carlos Boys is at. They also moved into an area called Boynton over there off of Saratoga and off of Winchester, Cadillac Drive, Impala, and all that shit, infested. You know what I'm saying? These fools are just deep as fuck right there, homie. You know what I'm saying? They come out of everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And this is one of those videos, money, that ain't never changed. Like, they still hold mad influence. When I fucked fools up from other Southside hoods, these are the dudes that would come to regulate. You know what I'm saying? Like back then in the 90s and early 2000s, like this hood's always been about it. It still is. Their membership is not as high as it was, but nevertheless, they still got vatos out there, you know, they're ready to handle their business and they're still active as a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? They putting in work. You know what I mean? And like I said, this is VST money. Like I said, don't get it twisted with these cats. They ain't punks or pussies money. They're with the business. You know what I'm saying? They're down with the runbacks. You know what I'm saying? Don't, like I said, puchas. You know what I mean? Clanton. Clanton money. Now, there's a video that originated from Los Angeles, California. You know what I'm saying? And in LA, throughout that county and other counties, Clanton got other videos all over the place. They got a bunch of little pockets that they got this video, you know what I'm saying, pushing weight. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean pushing weight like dope. I'm saying like, you know, they known. You know what I'm saying? And Clanton, you know, vatos that broke out from Clanton wanted to start up Clanton 18th Street because they have Clanton 14th Street down there. But the Clanton didn't want that. So these vatos started up 18th Street, and that's where 18 derives from, is from Clanton money. But you know, 18 has gotten so big that it's overshadowed Clanton. Nevertheless, Clanton is still one of the biggest barrios, you know what I'm saying, down south and throughout the fucking country. They got a lot of chapters everywhere, money, including San Jose, California, where they had came back in 1992, 93. A couple of these vatos who I know, who I've had interactions with, that started this shit up, lived in the Horseshoe area. Then some of them moved down to Reed, and between by the 280 between Monterey Road and Almaden and Vine, and basically started putting it down all right there in that area, and started, you know what I'm saying, recruiting manpower and whatnot. And Clanton on the west side was deep as fuck. It was dangerous to get caught slipping in that little area right there because they weren't fucking around. Motherfuckers got whacked out. And I ain't, you know, and I don't mean like they got hit with a bar or a bat or a bottle. Motherfuckers got whacked out. You know what I'm saying? So Clanton, at some point, they started having misunderstandings, miscommunication, and them and SSP, which is another Sureño neighborhood that was in the same vicinity, that felt like that whole area should be theirs. They felt that, you know what I'm saying, it should be theirs. And there was like I said, there was a lot of back and forth between both of these neighborhoods, where Clanton ended up leaving the area and moved into the east side area known as Monte Alban, which used to be a Norteño neighborhood right next to Barrio Tammy GANGSTER, which we're going to talk about in a minute. You know what I'm saying? So with that said, you know what I'm saying, they're no longer on the west side. They got west side heads, but that, like I said, that's when they barely, you know, started over there. But they don't got nobody on the west side. They got a body on the east side, and they got a body on the crime zone, which is right next to Pioneer on the south side of San Jose off Almaden and Blossom Hill. Now, are these hoods as active as they were back in the 90s? Fuck no. None of these hoods, except for VST. You know what I'm saying? That's the only hood that's still as active as it was from when it started. You know what I'm saying? So, and not to take away from any of these other Southside neighborhoods, money, but Clanton, nevertheless, is still effective, still on point, and still doing their thing, still recruiting, still got manpower, and still with the business. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, though, at the same time, don't get it twisted, man. These videos are there, but they're not same threat that they were, like I said, in the 90s, money. And like I said, Clanton is still trying to build, you know what I mean, in San Jose. It's just hard to do it when you don't have an American Me Part 2. And when, like I said, American Me had a big influence on a lot of these videos, and a lot of people that decided to join. You know, that you got to remember that, like I spoke with someone from Clanton, and you know, the thing about the Sureños, money, is it's three different pieces. You know what I'm saying? As far as their growth, the first one, it was a majority of paisas with a little bit of chicanos. You know what I'm saying? The second one was there was a lot of chicanos and less paisas. The third one is now they got a lot of homegrown cats that were born and raised in San Home. You know what I'm saying? Period. You know what I mean? So that's their three, and you know, and overall, all gangster shit is different. LA still kind of holds it all down as far as how they dress, money, but the attire and the way people dress nowadays is way different. Tight pants, all that type of shit. Don't get me wrong, Soho's half and half. You got the vatos that are wearing on the tight pants and all that, still gangbanging, but you also got a lot of those vatos that keep it, you know, straight OG. You know what I'm saying? Original gangster shit, and like it was back in the 90s, and still dressed with the Ben Davis and the Dickies and the, you know, looking freedom as fuck type of shit. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, like I said, money, Danton is there. They're active. They're with the fucking business. You know what I'm saying? Let's jump to this next one. Bam! Komar, money. Fucking Komar, G. You know, these vatos right here, they're with the business, money. They don't got the numbers. That value right there used to be occupied by Crips. You know what I'm saying? But now they're there, money, and they've been there for a little minute, and these vatos are definitely a fucking threat still. They're still with the fucking business. They move around. You know what I'm saying? From here or from there to Buckaway to SPV, they move around. You know, they go down to Virginia. They do their thing. You know what I'm saying? And recently they were riding all over the neighborhood and shit like that. You know what I mean? They've been going at it with the homies and whatnot, but this neighborhood is active. You know what I'm saying? And just because they're you know, they got real low manpower, the vatos they do got are with the business. Let's go. Vario Loco 13, VLT, also known as Buckway. That's the guy that runs through that Vario. Now, this Vario right here used to be real lightweight dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Where you don't know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? And they'll go from 5 to 25 of them real quick. You know what I'm saying? But this Vario no longer holds that type of weight, no longer has that manpower, money. Now, back in the days, you used to have Tropicana. You had a lot of Southsiders at Tropicana, which this is just right down the street, so they were able to move back and forth and all that type of shit. This was like their other little area where they could be outside Tropicana. Nevertheless, these vatos were surrounded by norteño gangs and had to go at it all the time, especially with the big barrios like Capitol Park and El Royal Palmas. They were just located, you know, around the fucking corner from these dudes. But I don't know if you remember when that vato that was dressed like a banana peel walked into one of their Mexican restaurants in their barrio, and I think he fucking peeled like 2 or 3 of them at the same time and walked away and got out, left like nothing. You know, any type of shit. These vatos, like I said, they're not like they were. You're not going to find 15, 20 of them kicking it. None of that shit. You know, but then again, when it comes to gangbanging, you ain't going to really see that hardly nowhere no more. You know what I mean? And it's not like it is in Southern California. These dudes are not all out there real tough like the Crips and Bloods in L.A. You know what I mean? But at one point, it was like that. This video no longer holds the weight. They're not the threat they were. And I'm not taking anything away from them. I'm just keeping it 100. You know what I'm saying? I go over in that little area and I don't ever have to worry about nothing. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like I said, I'm not, this is not one-sided, money. I'm keeping it 100. Buckaway just ain't the Buckaway it used to be in the 90s nor in the early 2000s. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Video Virginia 13, money. Now this video is by the PAL Stadium. You know what I'm saying? Which is like the police something athletic league or some shit, right? And where they're at, money, if you are thinking about going and rushing these cats or doing anything funny style that you're gonna go try to get your monies and get your respect, earn your name and all that type of shit, this is not the place you want to go and do that. You know what I'm saying? The black guys, they frequent that area and you get, you know, like I said, but there's a taqueria that's right there, money. That's a drive-through taqueria. You got to go eat some of these motherfucking tacos. There's a panaderia right next to it. I go there all the time. The shit's fire. You know what I'm saying? It's right across from Pink Elephant after 280. Go scope it out. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, there's no threat there no more. You don't have to worry about these vatos running up out of nowhere coming. I mean, like I said, everything is always one of them things where you just never know, though. You know, what I say right now, I can tell you that there's nothing there. And it might just be that day there's one of these vatos' birthdays and they're all over there kicking back, partying, and that vato's the only one that lives in that neighborhood. And you know, you walking down and thinking that it ain't shit, and next thing you know, you in the motherfucking ICU, baby. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I'm not taking anything away from none of these dudes, but as you can see, the membership there ain't like it was, money. And I'm just keeping it. This is just a rough estimate, you know what I'm saying, of people that possibly are still around right there in that area. But it's not like it was, you know what I'm saying? None of these videos is like it was. I mean, let's go to the next one, money. Tammy Lee. Now, Tammy Lee, money, they got the speed bumps all up in there and everything. So you're gonna go through there, you better know what the fuck you're doing. This is one of them areas that you gotta watch out because they've been there for a long ass time. And these vatos are clicked up with VCT. And like I said, they got a reputation. Tammy Lee, they with the fucking business. They ain't no fucking punks. This is one of the vadios that are still real active in San Jose and still got the manpower, the heads, and all that shit. Although now you got Clanton right next to them, you got VCT down the street, you got Vadios de Malditos, you got VPLs, you got 24th Street VMLs. But like I said, we're gonna jump to all those other vadios and I'll let you know where they stand and where they're at today. You know what I'm saying? But Tammy Lee is definitely still pulling heads. They ain't close to as deep as they were. You know what I'm saying? The area is not as dangerous as it was. Nevertheless, like I said, you fuck around, you might end up in ICU. But at the same time, this is one of them videos where the homies do be going up in there and looking for pleito. And these vatos are playing defense. You know what I'm saying? Handling their business and whatnot. That's fucking video Tammy Lee gangsters, my boy. You know what I mean? Sureños por Vida. That's on the east side over there. Money off of King and San Antonio, Sunset, all that little shit in the background over there. These vatos are not even close to what they were, money. You know what I'm saying? I was locked up with some of these dudes, and you know they did hold positions within their collective, but like I said, nevertheless, money. This video ain't even close to what it was. They ain't out there like they were. They ain't in the corners. They ain't, you know, it ain't nothing like it was. Period. You know what I'm saying? And their membership is really, really short. You know what I'm saying? And but they've been around since 1994, and they do still have a presence, and they're still around. Don't get me wrong. They're just not as deep as they were, and they don't have that type of manpower to be collecting heads like they did. You know what I mean? East side. Now this video right here is Vadio Mexicano Locos, money, also known as 24th Street, the Sureños, over there in that area. Back when they had the car wash right there, and I forgot the name of that Mexican restaurant they had in the corner where these fools were frequent, and they would be around that area. And if you got caught slipping, they're gonna snatch you up. This back when they were deep. They used to kick back at William Street Park and all that shit. And they've been around. They've been around for a long time. They got a lot of OGs from this neighborhood. And this neighborhood's also been around for a pretty long time. I mean, they've established that Vadio Paisano Locos, which later on became Vadio Peligroso Locos, for reasons I'll explain when that fucking Vadio comes up. But this Vadio is no longer dangerous and active and collecting, you know, heads and, you know, pushing weight and smashing and all that type of shit. It ain't what it was, money. And don't get me wrong, they're still around. They got a lot of OGs from this Vadio, but they're no longer the Vadio that they were, money. And when I say no mas, I don't mean like they're just straight dead. I just mean they're no longer what they were. They're no longer that threat. Like, you're not gonna run into a carload of these dudes. You're not gonna see these dudes over there in their hood. It's just not the way. Like I said, that's everywhere, money. Some of these hoods, like I said, VST, they're out there. SSP, you might see a couple heads walking around right there. You know what I'm saying? Buckaway, you ain't gonna see nobody. Comar, you might see these cats right there in the apartments, right there, just chilling, waiting, playing defense. You know what I'm saying? But as far as VMLs, 24th Street, they're not out there no more. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, and I don't mean that in no disrespect to all these vatos right here. I said mines and whatnot, right? But like I said, they just ain't the Vadio that they were back in the days, my boy. Because this Vadio was, you know what I'm saying, they pushed their weight around, and they were with the business. Vadio Gramercy Locos. Now, I thought they started up earlier than 96. But somebody else who's involved with these people said it was 96. I thought it was like 93, 94. I remember 1994, the first day I got out of county jail, we went to go rush these cats. You know what I mean? And I remember they were all out there, and it was off Gramercy. And my boy Sonny lived right there around the corner, so went to Sonny's house, and from Sonny's house we got a little buzz and decided to go put in some work type of shit. You know what I mean? And Vadio Gramercy Locos is no longer there, man. They're not active. They're not with the business. They don't got all the. They don't nothing. They're not there. You know what I mean? And like I said, when I say no mas, it's either I'm saying that they're no longer a threat or they're no longer there. One or the other. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Gramercy, it's dead, man. It ain't what it was. You know what I mean? It's never going to be. You know what I mean? Vadio Criminales Locos. You know what I mean? There's another Vadio that never really had a Vadio. You know what I mean? There's a lot of Norteño Vadios like that too. They're just hoods and shit, but they don't actually have an active area where they all post up and kick back at, and it's known for that area to be, you know, roamed by a certain collective of individuals that bang a certain Vadio. You know what I'm saying? This is one of them Vadios that jump from here to there to, you know, Valley Palms to, you know, SSP area. And some of these dudes were getting jumped into SSP. And because, like I said, at one point, SSP was one of the barrios that you wanted to be in if you was a Southsider. You know what I'm saying? So criminales locals, they're still around. They still got some heads, but they're not like they were, money. You know, like I said, I'm gonna tell you what vatos are still around and still are with the business, and I'm just keeping it 100. No disrespect to these vatos right here, money, but like I said, they're not pushing weight. They don't have the manpower they did. You know what I'm saying? And it's just changed, baby. Simple as that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, criminales locals is no longer a factor. You know what I'm saying? Now let's go to the Colonia, money. Now Valle Colonia, that's just what I was talking about. That's right there on McLaughlin. I thought they were over in Valley Palms, money, because I see that shit on the walls over there. But I guess Valley Palms is just an area that all these vatos, it's a neutral area for the Southsiders to go and kick back, post up, drink, party, and all that type of shit, right? But Valle Colon is right there where the McLaughlin Park's at. That's why if you're watching my video, the San Jose Sureños upstate, you know what I'm saying, one, you'll see that there's a picture of the McLaughlin Park. It has VCT and VTG because these vatos have been hooked up since day one. You know what I mean? They start up around the same time. A lot of these vatos will start up and then they'll start up another vadio down the street, and then, you know, they'll roam back and forth till their hoods grow and gain influence and whatnot, right? And they came out at a time that when they came out, they weren't deep, but because of what was going on with the paisas all back then, and then when American Me came out, their fucking numbers tripled. You know what I mean? And Valle Colon Tessa ain't as deep as it was. They still got a few heads moving around. They got some OGs from that vadio right there, and they're still active. They're still with the business, and you can still get caught slipping in that area, you know, like I said, at the wrong time, you know, of the day. You never know, especially at nighttime, these vatos start coming out, and, you know, like I said, you still got to be cuchas over there. You know what I'm saying? Simple as that. Vadio Sureño Malditos. Now, there's the vadio where that vato Güero was from, or, you know, I guess he was, because I don't know if he's still Sureño or not, but this is the vadio he was from. He's one of the main vatos from this vadio back in the days. And if you don't know who Güero, he's the one that was on that Hood Stocks podcast, money, where he had used a term out of place and whatnot, or, you know, he had said something that was just like on some old broken English shit, and people started making fun of him. Then, you know, I guess somebody called in and said he was talking to some dropout dude or a snitch or some shit, and they basically shut the fucking podcast session down. You know what I mean? But nevertheless, like I said, this Vadios Malditos, they're off of Lucretia, money, which is right down the street. Like, all these vatos are all in the same kind of area, and that's why they're able to frequent those areas, because they're all like right down the street from each other. You know what I'm saying? And this vadio's been around since 2000, but like I said, their manpower ain't really deep. When as far as West Side goes, they were on the West Side, but not as a vadio. They lived over there where Ravens Court used to be. There was like one or two people that lived in those apartments. They were on the walls and shit like that, but they weren't deep. They weren't collecting a bunch of heads out of there. None like that. You know what I'm saying? And that real area, a lot of those dudes that want to claim Southside or Sud, they go get jumped in the VST, which is on the other side of the bridge is Mary Jane Park, and they're right around the corner right there. You know what I'm saying? So their vadios on the east side. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. West Side. Vadio Wulo Locos. Now, when I was a baby, money, and we was fighting, these were the dudes that we assaulted on a daily basis, and they got their runbacks on a fucking daily basis. You know what I'm saying? I done been chased down like the beginning of American Me by these vatos, eh? You know what I'm saying? And they were crazy back in the days. You know what I'm saying? And they were paisas. It was an all paisa gang. They may have had a couple of Chicano dudes, but it was all paisas and dudes that had just broken English. But they were, nevertheless, they were fucking with the fucking business. A lot of these dudes got jumped in the SSP and VST and other vadios. They ain't been around in decades, you know what I'm saying? But when they were with the business, money. And this one of them vadios, they don't exist. It's a dead hood. You feel me? Let's go. Bam. Now, this is the oldest vadio in Sanjo. Vadios Sombras Locos, Vadios Sureño Locos, you know what I'm saying? Original on the east side, you know, over in the Tropicana area. And then later on the west side, down, you know, Almaden, Happy Hollow area, they were known to kick back with VST, real tough like. And they're no longer around. They ain't been around in decades either. You know what I'm saying? This vadio died out, but there's still OGs in Sanjo from this fucking vadio right here. You know what I'm saying? Vadio William Street, money. There's also another vadio that we constantly fought with because they're not far from my hood. You know, they're a mile away. You know what I'm saying? And we will fight with these cats all the time. And there's also another hood that used to be real dangerous back in the days. You get caught slipping over there, you're going to get the business, end up in ICU type of shit. There's also a place that we would go hunting and catch some of these fools slipping and put them in ICU. You know what I'm saying? So the shit was popping back then in the 90s. That's when gangbanging was still gangbanging and motherfuckers did their thing. And, you know, how it was back then is how it was. You know what I'm saying? But their membership has declined. Money, like I said, all these barrios, these Sureño hoods, all their numbers have, they've regressed in Sonho all the way around 100%. So that's what I'm trying to tell you, that as far as anybody saying that these vatos are half and half and they're deep as fuck, and that's all bullshit. That's all fake ass news that someone else is giving you, that they ain't keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? I'm keeping it 100. You know what I'm saying? William Street is still there. They used to kick back with the vatos because Williams goes all the way up to 24th and all that shit, right? So they would kick back with VMLs, and VMLs had VPLs because VMLs is the one who started VPLs. So you had all these dudes, and then you had SSP and Canton right down the street from them. It was like a trail that just led to one Sureño hood to another Sureño hood to another Sureño hood to another Sureño hood, and then you just cross over to the other side and you're in another Sureño hood, and cross back over this way, you're another Sureño, cross this way, because you had Pocaway. Then you had a VT and SPV in the same area. Then if you go down right there on San Antonio, you went all the way down, you crossed over the bridge, now you're over there, where 24th and VMLs is at, and Peligroso Locals, and then you go down, you go into Williams, you have William Street, then you go into there, you go down the Reed right there, you had Clanton, you go down Almaden, you had SSP and Valle Locals, you know what I'm saying? And then if you just, hop, skip, and the jump, you're right there in Happy Hollow, you know what I'm saying? So all these vatos are all really in the same vicinity, money, and even when you go to VPLs and you go on the other side of McLaughlin, now you got VCT, you got Valle Maldito Locos, you got Tammy Lee, you got Clanton, you know what I mean? So, and then if you go on the other side of the bridge over by Chuck E. Cheese, you have Valley Palms, which is, like I said, is a neutral area for all these vatos to go to. So, they weren't far from each other, money, and that's how they were able to keep, that strong presence, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, from Pocaway, the only vato that's out there that's a little bit has distance from all the rest of these other vadios, Sureño vadios, is really just Comar and Gramercy. That's why Gramercy didn't last too long. It's a lot of Norteño vadios. You got Warlocks all over there in that area now. But back then, these are the only two hoods that were a little bit further away and more surrounded by Norteños, especially Comar. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Downtown, you know what I'm saying? You had Vadio Sus Sombras, money. They didn't last long. You know what I'm saying? It one of them. There was another video I didn't put on here called Callejeros. It was on the west side. They lasted they came out 1 year. Next year they were already done. A lot of these vatos will get swallowed up by another video that's already been there. You know what I'm saying? And take all that manpower and whatnot. But Vadio Sus Sombras lasted maybe 2 years and then they were done. You know what I'm saying? I got into it straight out of juvenile hall with the shot caller from this hood, busted his ass up real nasty, like she's in juvenile hall, taped up and everything, and bandaged up and all that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? But I remember this video right here when it came out, and I remember when it died out. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Vadio Paisano Locos, money, is the original name. Now this vadio, like I said, was started up by Vadio Mexicano Locos 24th Street. You know what I'm saying? And because VMLs was a strong gang, money. It was a big gang, and it was, not to be fucked with. And that vadio went to war with VSJ, Real Tough Like, M Street, and all the other hoods over there in that area. They were known to frequent in that area. And like I said, they started up another little offshoot, which was called Vadio Paisano Locos. But, back then, money, these dudes, they would go to the Pinta, and then they would run with the Paisas. And I'm not saying that out of disrespect. That's real life shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I would remember in a couple of prisons I went to, I seen some of these dudes I knew from the streets, but they were running with the Border Brothers. You know what I mean? I was like, what the fuck? But I guess that's what they did back then. And some of these dudes would tell on us, and then they would come back out and still be a part of that vadio and still bang, their shit and all that. And it was nothing. Not like nowadays where a lot of these dudes have been to the Pinta in the last 2 decades, and it's a lot more political. So if you snitch, you snitch. Your snitch is a snitch. It doesn't matter who you snitch on. You're done. You know what I mean? But nevertheless, like I said, they changed the name from Paisano, not to get it twisted, to Peligrosos. You know what I'm saying? And it's still there. That's the value that I went and did my video out of San Ho, because that pussy ass motherfucking Caesar M invited me over there, or threatened me that I wouldn't go over there, and if I did, they were gonna get me and all kinds of other weird shit. So I went over there and I did my video over there. You know what I'm saying? And showed these vatos love. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do no disrespect to the Peligroso Locos or to Vadio Mexicano Locos. I did it because it was a personal thing with me and this wannabe pussy ass killer net banger of the year, Caesar M. You know what I'm saying? Nevertheless, like I said, these vatos are still out there. They're there. They just ain't known to frequent the area. They ain't as dangerous. It ain't a threat like it was. None of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So don't get it twisted. East Side, Vadio Pachuco Town. Now, this wasn't an all Sureño vadio, money. There was regular vatos, the paisas. There was just regular raza, chicanos and this shit. And I think there was like vatos that ended up being norteños and getting jumped into palmas and all that shit. But nevertheless, Vadio Pachuco Town was also one of them hoods that vatos came out of and also started up or joined other Sureño neighborhoods as well. You know what I'm saying? And this is an old ass gang, and it's no longer around. Money. They were known to frequent the area of King and Story right there at the Tropicana back in the days. You know what I'm saying? Barrio Frontera Locos, money, relocated to Richtown. They were also in that same vicinity right there, the Tropicana on the east side, money. Like I said, most of these barrios, reigned out of the east side, not the west. But everybody would say all the Sureños are on the west side because, like I said, that was the spot for all these hoods to go kick it. And like I said, the west side motherfuckers were a little bit more Chicano-ish and a little bit more dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Since back in the motherfucking days, I don't know who's the most dangerous one now. I know the most active one is VST, and they're from the west, deep west. And like I said, this body right here, I think, is active in Richtown and Richmond, where Richmond is like one of them cities when he like Atwater, you know what I'm saying, that has a lot of fucking Sureños, and they have a strong presence there, you know what I'm saying. And there's a couple other cities, money, in Northern Cali that I'm gonna talk about. I'm gonna give you the rundown on the Sureño cities that are up north. Santa Cruz also holds a lot of weight, you know what I'm saying, the flats and all that shit. When it comes to Sureños, like I said, there's certain areas, money, you know what I mean, that hold a lot of weight, that put in work and been there for a long time. And we're going to talk about all those cities on another motherfucking episode or whatnot, right? But let's jump from this shit. Let's try to get this shit done and over with, money. You know what I'm saying? Barrio Crueles Locos, money. This is new barrios on 12th Street. 12th Street was originally a Norteño neighborhood, homie, but they have always been surrounded or always been at war with all these cats. Because you had Happy Hour down the street, behind the train tracks, you had Barrio Mexican Locos and Williams. You know what I'm saying? Down the street, you had Williams. So, but they had us down the street, and that's when 12th Street was one of the barrios that have always been our allies since day one type of shit, right? But these vatos started in 2010, around there, 2009, 2011. I just put 2010, you feel me? Their membership, they got more hyenas than they got vatos, money. You know what I'm saying? There's always all these little cute ass sureñas and shit, right? They begin in these videos and shit like that, right? And but besides that, like I said, these vatos here, they're not dangerous like that, and they're not a threat like that, none of that shit. I think the hyenas might whack you out before one of these vatos whack you out, type of shit. You know what I mean? But nevertheless, those vatos are there. You know what I mean? And it's one of the newest hoods in San Juan. East Side, Valley Palms, baby. Now, this is the kickback spot. Colonia 13, Clanton, a lot of these barrios frequent that area, kick back over there. Motherfuckers be doped up over there. Motherfuckers be getting drunk over there, partying over there. It's a gated community, so they're secured in that little area where they're at. You know what I'm saying? Nevertheless, you got Bamas and you got Metal Fair down the street. You know what I'm saying? And other vatos around the side of the fucking freeway. You got the vatos from Chicano Pride Gangsters, CPGs. You know what I'm saying? So, nevertheless, like I said, these vatos, they still in this area. They just not even close to as deep as they were, and all that type of shit. Like I said, they don't hold that weight like they did. Now, the whole point of this motherfucking breakdown and this roll call, money, is so that people know what's happening. If you look at the fucking numbers of these gangs, there's probably no more than maybe, I'm going to say, let's just say 200 Sureños in San Jose, maybe 250. Norteños, on the other hand, are in the thousands. You know what I'm saying? These vatos probably have the fucking, I think, 17, 18 hoods that I talked about, because they also got a Sureña hood that's pretty deep with all Sureñas. I don't know the fucking name of it. I know that it exists, though. But, like I said, a lot of these Sureñas are more dangerous. You know what I'm saying? And they can catch vatos slipping because they're hyenas, and they got, some of them are hella fucking sexy, and they look good, and, they can easily get a vato to, follow and go to their canton, and they could set a motherfucker up real easy, like, you know what I mean? But, nevertheless, like I said, the reason why I even brought this up is because a lot of podcasters are over exaggerating on their numbers and acting like if they're here taking over the city type of shit, when that's not, those are not facts. These are facts. You know what I'm saying? And a real Sureño, real motherfuckers will tell you. Now, the south side that I was fucking talking to and bullshitting with, money, he even said, money, he went to Party City and there was a Norteño working there. He had to trip off that Norteño calling manpower to come and snatch his fool up. So this fool couldn't even go to Party City. You know what I'm saying? On the other hand, money, this same dude, he went to an auto parts store and someone recognized him inside there, and they started calling manpower, and he had to take off out the back door. You know what I'm saying? My point being, though, money, is these vatos don't hold the weight that these fucking other dudes are all making up. You know what I'm saying? It's all bullshit, money. Southsiders and Sanho play defense. They got to stay in their neighborhoods. They can't really come out. They're not at the fucking malls chilling. They can't go get a job at Eastridge and Oak Ridge and just be out there with a big old X3 and think nothing's going to happen to them. You know, they can't work at the fairgrounds. You know, they're not at the fucking car shows and the lowriders. And I'm going to talk about that too. It's not what people are trying to make it seem like it is. Money, motherfuckers over exaggerate. Now, like I said, if you was in Richmond, in Atwater, maybe Santa Cruz, Half Moon Bay, there's a couple of spots where these vatos are Concord, where these vatos are fucking deep. You know what I'm saying? In these certain towns, cities, you know what I'm saying, where you can't be and you got to watch out. But San Juan ain't one of them. San Juan has generations of Norteños, money. A gang of them. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, that Norteños, they hold all the way in San Juan. They're the main fucking dudes. They go anywhere they want. They work wherever they want. They do whatever they want. And no one ain't going to stop that shit. And that's just being 100,000 with you. You know what I'm saying? So cut the bullshit with all the fake news, all this fake ass fucking propaganda bullshit that these dudes are putting out on their channels for views and for, you know, all that. It's all fake. Be 100. I'm just being 100. So you come up north over here and you think you're just going to move around like nothing, you're going to have to find out yourself. You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong. There's so many Norteños that move around, money. Ain't nobody threatened by nobody. So they go wherever they want. You'll see a Norteño all flamed up in red at the bus stop chilling. You know what I'm saying? You'll see them walking around at Walmart. You see the motherfuckers everywhere, money. You know why? Because like I said, Mexican restaurants, anywhere you go, Chuck E. Cheese, anywhere, money. You see them everywhere. And like I said, because there's no threat. You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong. Sometimes some of these dudes from the South get out and don't like the way shit's looking, don't like the way shit is now because they were used to the way it was and the way it was getting, that, you know, they feel like they got to handle business. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, they got little brothers from these barrios. And if somebody does something to one of their little brothers, then they got to go old school and go represent. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I'm not taking nothing away from these Southsiders, money. They're, you know, upstaters from up north, money. I'm not taking nothing away from them. They handle their business when they got to handle their business. All I'm saying is that they don't got the numbers, like people are over exaggerating, half and half. It's not even, it's fucking nothing close to that. Like I said before, money, Norteños outnumber Southsiders 20-1. Simple as fucking that, maybe even more. You know what I'm saying? As far as barrios go, there's probably 5 fucking active Sureño neighborhoods that really put in work. The other ones, like I said, they're all on their last legs. Some of them don't even exist no more. They're only there because there's OGs that still bang that neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? So outside of that, these neighborhoods are not like they were. I think the only ones that are really there still is Comar, Glanton, Tammy Lee, VST, let me see who else, SSP, and that's really probably it. You know what I'm saying? That I can think of that, you know, motherfuckers still have run-ins with. You know what I'm saying? There's still youngsters banging those neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? And shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But outside that, you know, it is what it is, baby. Like I said, everything I say, money, is straight face value shit. You know what I'm saying? So you can go with there, you can come and find out. You know what I'm saying? I'm out.